I am so glad you convinced me that the family car should be the Defender 110. It is so beautiful inside, it's so comfortable, and it just feels indestructible.
Yes, it really is. I've been waiting a long time for the new model to come out. The Defender 110, I'm telling you, it's my favorite car of all times. It's my third one. You know, I have stories of going off road. The guy managed the group. He was like, "What are you doing in this beautiful car?" I'm like, "I'm going off road." He's like, "Are you sure? Because you can use one of ours." And then they look like Mad Max cars. I'm like, no, we're going to do this. And he was shocked.
Wow. Well, it's great because the Defender has been reimagined for 21st century adventure, and its unparalleled off-road ability as well as its robust interior are invaluable whether you're headed towards uncharted territory or just a weekend of exploration. The Defender 110 tackles challenging surroundings with absolute confidence. The SUV conveys strength outside and in, featuring peerless technology like an intuitive driver display and an award-winning infotainment system. That's my favorite part, to keep you connected no matter where the journey takes you. Adventure is unique to everyone, and so is the Defender. Choose from the two-door Defender 90, the four-door Defender 110, or the larger Defender 130 with the ability to seat up to 8 passengers. You'll find uncompromising performance in all three. So pack up and go even further with the Defender 110. Learn more at LandRoverUSA.com/Defender.
Like, I remember this girl, Ashley Howley, came to school. She's pretty, but she wasn't like the most beautiful girl in the world, but she was pretty. But she was from LA, and everyone's like, whoa. And it's like so cool. Because I think, you know, everything was always like, Florida was like a step, like a little brother to LA. Like, our waves were never as big. Our sharks were never as big.
Right, your towns have the same names.
Yeah, I know. West Palm we got Palm out in there. But yeah, I always looked up to LA. And then when I finally got to LA, I was like, oh, I'm living here for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Will you live there for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I will. I want to move. I played tennis with this old man, Marty was his name. I wonder if he's still alive. Right when I first had kids, started having kids, we used to play every morning, me and Marty. And he was going through a divorce, and he said to me, be very careful to make sure that you and your wife have the same goals in life about what you want to do when you retire. By the way, it was so far away from me at that time that I was like, huh? And he was like, my wife wants to spend time with my grandkids. And I said, what do you want to do? He goes, I want to be on a boat. And my wife doesn't want to be on a boat. And so we're getting a divorce. And they got a divorce. They ended up getting back together because he was like, life with my wife and my grandchildren is more important than just being on a boat. But I said to my wife recently, I said, where do you want to retire? I just thought of that conversation. And she goes, oh, I want to retire in the hills, in the mountains. I want to go to the mountains somewhere. And I went, oh no, we're going to the beach. I want to live on the beach. And she's like, I'm not going to live on a beach. And I went, oh my God. But I want to retire. I want to own. There's a bar in the Virgin Islands called Foxy's, and it's on the beach. It's on the beach, like sand everywhere.
So that does seem like it would be perfect for you. And even though I haven't yet introduced you, so the audience doesn't know, but what are you going to do?
I want to do stand-up. I want to play music. I want to make ribs. I want to make hot wings.
But your wife wants to move to the hills of like West Virginia or something.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You're going to have to convince her.
Yeah.
My guess is you're convincing. My guess is you're persuasive. You convinced her to marry you.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Look, I'm engaged right now, so I totally get the idea of having to convince someone to marry you.
Yeah.
But I have not yet had that retirement question. That's good advice.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I just want to introduce you. You're not a marriage counselor, although you could potentially pose as one. You're Bert Kreischer. You're a great stand-up comedian. You've been one for forever. I want to tell you another thing about my memory of you, which is that in 1997, I read the Rolling Stone article of you being the biggest partier in the world. I forget the title.
Number one party animal in the country.
The number one party animal in the country. I remember clearly because I remember, who is this guy who's like a 6-year senior at some Florida place? And I was thinking, I was mildly jealous. I was thinking, you know what? This probably could never be me in any alternate reality. Like, I'm just too nerdy and not extroverted enough. And you seem just in the article like, whoa, anything goes, and let's have fun, let's do whatever. And it seemed like a good life, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's that life becomes problematic. Like, there's problems with the way I live my life. Like, I have impulse control. I would love to be more like you. Trust me. Like I saw you had a book in your hand today, and I was like, God, I wish I could read books. Like I wish I could.
Excuse me.
It's my
Your
book.
book.
I saw it in your hand. And I
Your
was
book
like,
that you wrote.
I go, of course he's reading a book. And then I saw that and I went, oh, it's my book. But yeah, that's how I read my book once.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I mean, I wrote it, but I had to read it for audiobook. Like I had to read.
Oh, I hate doing the audiobook.
Dude, it took me 22 hours to get through reading a 5-hour audiobook. Like 22 hours. And the best part, the reason my audiobooks outperformed my book beyond.
Yes.
But the reason is, number one, the reason is most of my fans are podcast fans, or that's the way they take in information. They do audiobooks and stuff like that and podcasts. But also the editor left in all my fuck ups. So as I spin out of control, he left it in. So you hear me at one point go, son of a fucking bitch, I'm taking my pants off. It's hot as crap in here. Is the air conditioning on? And so that's what people love about that book is that it is completely unedited.
Well, in my audiobook, I did an audiobook for one of my books and I started reading it. And I'm like, I just can't sit here and read like a robot off the page.
Yeah.
So I just took the chapter titles, read a few paragraphs to remind myself what the chapter was about, and I just riffed on each chapter. So it becomes a whole different product.
Yeah, it's so funny. Apparently, Tracy Morgan did that. He just sat in a room and talked. Like they had his book, and he'd like look at it, and then he'd just go off on other subjects.
That's great, and I could see Tracy Morgan doing that.
Yeah.
Particularly given your story of Tracy Morgan in this very book. So, which maybe we'll get to. Hey, don't leave so fast. Before you go, don't forget to claim your free copy of my free ebook called Fact Me, where I share with you my answers to a range of questions on business, coming up with ideas, getting unstuck, Bitcoin, and more. Get your copy of my book at jamesaltucher.com/FAQ. That's jamesaltucher.com/FAQ.
These days, we're all investors, trying to be smart with our money despite our worst impulses. But at iShares, we believe that deep down inside of every investor is a better investor. One that's just waiting to be let out. Explore iShares ETFs and insights and let your best investor out. Visit iShares.com for more information.